Just a short vid here. I always say that, it ends up being a long one. But anyway, just a short vid for anybody interested. So, working on the inside, what it's going to be the inside of the table. Um, it's going to be, I made this block out of pine. May have to put one more layer in, but essentially it's a big giant piece of homemade plywood. Got grain running different directions. Got, it isn't perfectly gapped, but it doesn't really matter. All that's going to be inside and at the bottom of the table. That's actually the tabletop right there with my coffee cup on it already. And of course, Black Rifle coffee. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, so the challenge has been here of getting really straight edges. I don't know if you guys could really see it. I posted a picture, but essentially we're going to kind of put a little bit of strawberries and cream in here is what we're kind of trying to do. Is there's a little creamsicle, which is a little Osage orange and some curly maple inlays or inserts, I guess you want to call them. And those are actually going to run lengthwise down the boards. When I glued all these up, they looked nice, but it kind of just looked like a bunch of bunch of boards glued together. Thought we'd want just a little bit more oomph in this. So essentially, just kind of trying to get these all set up. As you can see, one of the interesting things is I got to move these so that they actually come out on both ends. So they are not going to be the same spot. Now I do need these boards to line up, which I've got a straight edge over there to use. But these don't necessarily have to line up. In fact, I prefer that they don't. I need them to be where the cut's going to be or where the wood's going to be. So that's going to be pretty interesting. That's kind of a project, one of the projects for today. I guess if I only get one thing done today, I want to make sure I get my glue up. Now this corner's a little interesting because it's right at the level. I'm going to have to just clip this corner up here and then just clip that corner down there. And that's not enough wiggle room to really make me happy, but that'll work. And then of course this one here, I'll move it down till I get some pushed out here. So essentially that will be what that looks like right there. So now I've got to make sure these bottoms are level, and then look again at those, and then move them to where I need to be, and then at that point I can make my marks on the boards. I'm not really going to cut anything. I just want to make sure when I glue these up that I have them at the right spot. And really that's the purpose here, is just making sure when I glue these inserts up, I have them at the right spot. I'm essentially going to glue them to one to each board, and then I'm going to plane the thin boards because I don't have a planer big enough or wide enough to do the whole board. So I'm going to plane the thin boards to the thickness I want, get them nice and even, and then, which I'm kind of debating on actually, because I may actually just go ahead and surface that whole thing when I get done. So I'm debating on whether I want to plane or not. But anyway, but basically the big kicker there is to get them glued up to their corresponding board, get them in place, and then get them glued together all together at some point. So a few glue ups in a row. Luckily the glue cures in about an hour or so, so I should be able to make a panel that can be cut by the end of the day. So we'll see. It's pretty tricky and kind of a critical thing too, because this is going to be the top, so I don't need it ruined. So not a lot of leeway. I've already kind of screwed up a couple spots. So anyway, that's normal for me. But just figured you guys might like to see how that's gonna turn out. So